Got a little bit of a different video coming up this week. I'm going to be teaching you guys when I would not place any trades. We've all been in a trade previously that was in good profit, and then out of nowhere, price has reversed massively in minutes, and you've been taken out of the trade at stop loss. Or for a different scenario like I had a couple of weeks ago, price was in profit. We didn't have stop loss to entry because there wasn't enough gap, but then due to the high impact spread at the close on the session, we got taken out of the trade even though price was still in a profit. And we've all done this and had it happen to us as traders, so this is when we shouldn't trade. I'm Jack Beanie from the Limitless Trading Club. I've traded over 7 years now, and in this video I'm going to show you when I do not trade in the Forex markets. So to get started on the educational part of this video, we've got 3 criteria that I'm going to bullet point on when I do not trade, and starting with is high impact news. So when do I know that high impact news is about? I use Forex Factory. That then brings across, so this was from last week's high impact news. As we can see, we have got areas of high impact news marked in red for USD. Then we've got AUD CAD, AUD again. Then we've got GBP, USD again. So anything that's marked in red is classed as high impact news. Me personally, I do trade through high impact news if I do have stop loss to entry. If mainly I was going to look to place a trade, I would know in the morning from my daily checklist that I'm going to go through what the high impact news is for that day. So if I'm looking at a trade on AUD CAD and I know I've got news at 9 AM, I do not place that trade until after 9 AM. So if trade comes in at 8 o'clock, we just have to wait, accept that the price could go without us, sees what happened. Sometimes, again, the price will go in the direction you wanted it to and you would have made a good profit. Sometimes price will reverse and you would have hit stop loss, and sometimes price will do nothing at all with the high impact news. But we don't want to take any risks around our trading because that is classed as gambling, and that's not what we're after. We're after clean, consistent profits. So first of all is, we've got a list of when not to trade. We're after high impact news. And we've all been there previously when price just goes out of nowhere, bang, takes you straight at stop loss, and you think, for fuck's sake. It just happens. And with back testing, so when you're doing your back testing like you should every day, we can't factor in when news is going to be, just because that would take way too long to go back in that time frame and see what day it was on Forex Factory, even if they hold that data. So you just have to accept sometimes you understand once you've done enough back testing what would be news, and you go, okay, well that trade was taken out of stop loss or it hit TP, but I can't count that, and that's just a trade that had news, and I wouldn't count that on my back testing sheet. So this morning when I did my back testing, we had 3 trades hit TP. There was no high impact news. But if there was, and I could see major jumps in price, gaps, or if price has just gone absolutely berserk, I know it's going to be high impact news, and we're not going into that. And if you don't do your checks every day on high impact news, I do this for the community, the Limitless Trading Club. I do that for all the members every morning. I'll put in what the high impact news is for that day, and obviously we'll do that on our weekly call where I go over what everything I'm looking at on a Monday morning. So if you want to head over to the Limitless Trading Club and become a member, then the link will be in the description of the video. So number 2 is going to be our second biggest one, and that is going to be market closes. So what we're after here for market closes, and the reason this is a concern, and I do not trade, and my auto strategies do not trade anywhere between 9 PM and 11 PM London time, and that is because brokers increase their spreads during this time. And a couple of weeks ago I got taken out of a scaling trade on NZDCHF for 1%, even though price was nowhere near the stop loss itself. So what happened was I had placed a scaling trade, so we had our main trade in, it was sitting about 3% profit. We then added in a scaling trade once we had a pullback that had a 15 pip stop loss. Price moved up into a slight loss and then pulled back down into profit, and we was about 0.5% in profit. Well, overnight on the 10 PM close / open for the other sessions, the broker increased his spread to about 33 pips. So if you're thinking, I put 15 pip stop loss on, 0.5% in profit. So I was looking at about 22 pips between where my stop loss was set and where current price was. Well, where there was about a 33% spread, I got taken out of that trade at stop loss for 1%. So I got taken out for £1,000 on that trade. It didn't end up a drastic deal because the bigger trade did come in at 5%, but it still meant I didn't have a 5% profit from that trade. I only made 4% because we had to take the 1% off. So a big thing is to make sure you've got stop loss to entry or enough room for spread around the 9 to 11 p.m. So it is 10 p.m, but I just set it so I do no trades or place no trades between 9 and 11. And then finally for number 3, and this is mainly something to do with the US and the US markets, but it does affect everyone, is farmers payroll, and that is the first Friday of every single month. So if we have a quick look on Forex Factory for last week, you can see if we come to Friday, right down the bottom here, we have CAD and USD news in high impact, marked in red, and you can see that says non-farmer employment changes. That there is a really big one, and a lot of traders that I know, and personally myself, do not trade on days where there is the farmer payroll. So every first Friday of the month, we do not trade. If I'm in a trade and it's stop loss to entry, I will leave that to run. Or if we're in something, if I've got a really good setup and I've got a really decent amount of barriers and it's not US or CAD, so like ADJPY, then I probably would place the trade, be a little bit more conservative, slightly bigger stop loss. But ideally, if we can get away with it, it's a Friday, so we don't want to be holding too many trades or early trades over the weekend, and I will be closing that out. So they are the 3 main things and times I would not trade. So first one is when there's high impact news. I will be checking that every morning as a trader to make sure that there is no high impact news on setups that I'm looking at, and if there is, I'll be looking at when I can place that trade and when I can't. Then from there, I'll be looking at market closes and what my strategy does around the market closes. I do not place any trades between 9 and 11 p.m. London session. And then finally is then the first Friday of every month, I will not be placing any USD or CAD trades, preferably no trades at all, if I haven't got a really clean setup, opening up with a decent conservative stop loss. So they're my major 3 things I don't want to trade. So that's a wrap up for this video. If you want to watch some more trading, educational content that I'm creating, I drop a new video every Monday, and you can head over to the Limitless Trading Club to find that.